What's good, squad? It's your girl Kaylee the Boss, and this is the second episode of the official second season of the Bossich Boss Chick Corner. I am the Boss Chick, and welcome to the corner. Rise and grind. Happy Saturday. How y'all bossing? So as you all have heard, we've bounced around and played on some playful topics, and we've talked about a few personal things over the months, but now it's back to business. Okay. But before we do, go ahead, just please go ahead and hit that like button, comment, and subscribe for me. Yeah. You know you want to stay a part of the K squad, the boss squad. We have it is all boss all the time. All things boss all the time. But today's squad, we are welcoming a new fellow boss lady entrepreneur to the fold. Join me as I welcome Mrs. Jasmine Jones. Y'all show her some love and welcome her to the K squad, okay?
Hello,
Hey,
hello. Thank you for having me.
not a problem. What is good? What is up? How are you bossing on this lovely Saturday?
Oh, it's great. It's been a good day. We did some family things this morning, so now we're just kind of relaxing.
Good. That's always good. Just to relax and unwind.
Yeah.
But first of all, go ahead and let the people know who you are and what you do.
My name is Jasmine Jones. I wear a bunch of hats. I am a mom, I'm a nurse, I'm a wife. And my most recent venture is credit repair. I recently opened JFS Credit Repair Services.
Yes. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the corner. We are definitely so glad you are here to join us today. Before we get into the business, I do like to start with a few little icebreakers just to, break a little ice here and there. So we're going to do icebreakers credit style, if you're okay with
Yes, yes.
that.
At all.
All right, so I like to do this or that.
All right.
First up, okay, would you rather have two credit cards with $5,000 limits or five cards with $2,000 limits?
Two credit cards with $5,000 limits, so that's my 10K, or five cards with $2,000 limits.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's the same amount. Honestly, for me, it depends on what you're doing with the cards. Like right now, I probably have like 20 credit cards. I plan to consolidate them down. If you get cards with a lower interest rate, then I would, of course, use those. Like you may have children, so you have store cards. And it gets you points at the store. You get free clothes. You get notified of all the sales. You get certain percentages off just for being a card holder. But I think I would like the two $5,000 credit cards because it's just easier to manage for me.
Gotcha. See, that's a personal preference because
Yeah,
some people forget they even have the other ones or they just do too much with the other ones.
yeah, yeah.
All right.
And it's easier to keep up with due dates on two cards
Mm,
versus keeping up with due dates, statement dates, and when to pay
yeah,
five cards.
yes. The chaos. The
Yeah.
chaos. All right. Would you rather dispute through the credit bureaus or write a letter to the company directly?
I'd rather dispute through the credit bureaus because with the Fair Credit Reporting Act, they are the ones reporting to your credit. They're the ones generating your credit report.
Hmm.
So there's certain laws that they have to abide by for things to ever enter your credit. So go through the bureaus. They still have to reach out to the company that owns the debt, that originated the debt, whoever put it on your credit report. So I
Hmm.
like going through the bureaus.
Okay. Uh, would you rather is it the 750 credit score or the 850?
I would rather have the 850 credit score. Some people, it's different for some people. Some people believe that if you have a 750 credit score and an 850 credit score, there is not a huge difference for things that you can get approved for because it's based on your profile more so than the numbers. But of course, everyone would like a perfect score.
Right. I asked that because some people say if it looks perfect, then you'll become suspicious to, who that's what we've heard all these years.
No, it's not. Like I said, it's not a large difference in what you'll get approved for. There's some slight differences with interest rates and things like that. But I mean, we just want perfect because that's what we aim for, perfection, even though we're not perfect. But
Right.
I will go 50 because I'm like, hey, bigger the better.
Hey, there we go. Okay, unsecured or secured credit cards?
Unsecured. Secured credit cards are great for building credit. That's the purpose of the secured credit cards, to build credit. You give them money and they say, okay, based on this money that you give us, we'll give you this limit. But I would just rather have the limit and not have to give you anything. I'm one of those I can eat it too type people.
Yes. Okay, last one. This is a 3-part. Experian, TransUnion, or Equifax. Equifax. Which one is your favorite?
I think I like Experian more. And some of these other agencies may have this, and I just haven't tapped into it yet. But they have things like Credit Boost, where you can add things that you're paying on time that gives you points towards your credit score. Sometimes, not all the times. Usually, Equifax is a lower credit score, but TransUnion is actually the one that's used a lot. And it uses a lot of the reporting things on there.
Okay. I think I say TransUnion because every time I look, my score is always a little bit higher with
Oh, oh,
TransUnion.
to me, it's like TransUnion's always the highest score. Tends to be the middle, and then Equifax seems to always be the lowest.
Okay. I just feel special when I look at TransUnion. Like, make me feel special.
I know.
All right. As a consumer, what was one of the funniest credit mistakes you've ever made?
As a consumer, okay, so I got my first credit cards in college. So I used them, and I used them the right way. No, I'm lying. I didn't get the first one in college. I got it in high school, actually. So we didn't have a senior trip. We had something called a Hoops Dream Tour. Went on the Hoops Dream Tour. It's kind of expensive, so I knew my parents weren't going to be able to pay for it and send me with money. But I thought I was like bougie back then, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go find this credit card. Like, I'm gonna figure this out. Applied at Capital One. They gave me a $500 limit, which I mean, was I 18? I was a senior, so maybe I was 18. I think I was 17, but maybe I was 18. No, I was, because it was in March, so it was after my birthday. So I was 18. And I put the stuff on the card, but I was working a job like at Taco Bell or somewhere, so I paid for it at the same time too. And by the time I got to college, I knew I had the card, but I didn't really understand. I was like, you know what? I'm tired of paying this bill. I don't want this bill anymore. So I closed the card, not really realizing that I could go buy a pack of candy or a bag of chips or anything and keep that card active each month. And I could have been building credit from the age of 18. Like, that could have been my oldest account on there. Probably $50,000 limit by now. And the that I did, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but once you don't pay your credit card bill for 3 months, the lender automatically closes those credit cards. Like, it's automatically closed. So like I said, I was finishing up school. Then by the time I got to the end of college, I was in nursing school. So I stopped working like those last few months. I'm doing clinicals. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And I'm like, okay, I'll pay that stuff. When I become a nurse, I'm going to make some money. So I'll pay that stuff off then. So got my check and was like, okay, I'll pay it next month. This is my first check. I'm going to go splurge. I'm going to go buy this, go buy that. Long story short, they ended up closing the cards because, yes, I was late on the payments and I didn't pay them for 3 months. And my minimum was only like $25. So it wasn't an outrageous amount that I didn't have. I just didn't realize that it was that important to not pay late and that they would actually close my card.
Right. Wow. I mean, our thought process back then, it made sense in the moment.
Yes, yes, it's way different. It's way different. But I'm glad that I did that so early in my 20s because
Mhm.
by the time because all that time I was 22. 22 years old. By the time I hit 23, I was like, okay, I know how this credit stuff work. I'm about to figure this out. I'm about to work this out.
Love it. Love it. I love these little icebreakers because they always kind of make you think a little bit and get you
Yes,
laughing a little bit. All right.
yes,
Well, today's topic, we're surrounding your boss style, your business, your mission, and just some small tips to help us, with this adulting thing that we call credit. It's our lifeline at this point
yes,
in these streets. So help us get our life, sis. Help us get our life.
yes, man.
All right. So first question that I have for you. So, when it comes to being an entrepreneur, when did it begin for you? Like your first entrepreneurial experience of business in general?
Um, my first entrepreneurial experience, I actually have a children's boutique. It's Jazzy Kids Boutique. I guess that would be like my first time actually starting something, creating my LLC, getting my EIN, finding vendors, help paying someone to create a website because that's not my forte. But getting a website created, keeping up with inventory and everything. That was my very first entrepreneurial journey.
Whoop whoop. And I am familiar. I
Yeah,
am very familiar.
my logo.
Just
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
awesome, awesome. So, how did the credit repair come about?
So credit repair was not something that I intended to do, or it wasn't anything that was actually on my radar to ever do. I have a lot of family and friends who know that, oh, she got a lot of credit cards. Oh, she knows how this works. They'll ask me questions about credit. And so one of my friends was like, you should just do credit repair. And I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll think about it. We'll see. I'm one of those people who I don't feel like or like to be like boxed in one thing. Like this is the one thing that I can do. This is the one thing that I can't do. So actually, I wanted to take the digital course recipe class with Ashley Massengill. I saw her class. I wanted to take the digital course recipe, and I was like, "Oh, dang, she does a bundle where you can take credit repair too." I was like, "Okay, cool. I'll focus on the credit repair first, and So I did the bundle class, but I focused most of my attention on the credit repair portion of it.
Hmm. Okay. So, are you enjoying everything that you're learning and
Yes, yes, I enjoyed the class. A, l- a lot of the stuff I already had a good working knowledge of, but it had a lot of structural and legal stuff that I did not know about because
Hmm.
kind of like doing hair at home versus having to do hair at a salon. Different things that you can do, different things that you can't do. So that was it gave us a lot on the legal portions of everything, which was what.
Awesome, awesome. That's awesome. You always want to do things the legal way, and
Oh,
make sure you dot your I's, cross your T's.
yes. In
Got you.
business, my motto and my mindset is if you start everything correctly, you never have to correct it. So I didn't want to start off like, oh, I'm not gonna get this thing or I'm not gonna do that. I'll do that later. No, I wanted to start it like that now. So that if my when not if my business starts booming and really growing and reaches the next level, I'm trying to figure out stuff that I should have done in the beginning.
Right, right. Love it. So, would you say that is your greatest strength, or what is your greatest strength on this journey?
I think my greatest strength is more so my flexibility. I try not to, which is I don't know. I try not to get so worried about if things don't go a certain way. Like I make a plan, but if I have to veer from the plan and if I have to do step 6 before I do step 2, it's okay. I'm going to make sure every step is completed, but I'm also
Mhm.
okay with realizing that okay, you need to move this way now, or you need to focus on that now.
Mm-hmm. It's not always our timing.
Yes. And I also don't mind hiring my weaknesses. I don't mind spending money on my business. Like, I just don't mind that. You know, you do a lot of my social media. Well, most, like 95% of it. I don't like, I like social media, but I don't like to be on there like posting all the time or checking it
Mm-hmm.
all the time. It's just not my personality. I'm more of a in person, very social, but just not kind of on a computer. So
Right.
that was a weakness of mine. So that was something that I knew and I recognized. And I was like, okay, I need to find someone who this is a strength for them because it's a weakness for me.
Gotcha. See, it people get so wrapped up in I have to do it all by myself, all by myself. We we are only one body,
No.
and
Yeah.
we have to get out of our own way sometimes. So
Yeah.
I definitely I'm trying to work on that myself.
No. I like to thank God for me all of these grand ideas for me to go and get other people so we could all shepherd it together.
That's right. That's right. All right. So not only are you an entrepreneur, you are definitely a frontline worker before and during this whole health and safety issue with COVID and how we have been for the last 2 years. How have you balanced work and life as a mom and a entrepreneur, mom, wife, entrepreneur, nurse? How have you done it all?
So, funny story. I told you that the first, my kind of leap into my entrepreneurial journey was my children's boutique. So, I created it, opened it, wanted to sell children's clothes, and then boom, COVID. I don't know about anyone else, but I know my kids, when they were at home on the computer, I did not buy them clothing. My kids cannot repeat clothing for a new season just because they grow so big, grow so tall and so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like in leggings, t-shirts, like stuff that was way too small, things like that. So that was one of the
Comfortable.
I opened a business that I thought, oh, this is gonna be awesome. And then it was like, girl, we don't need no clothes. These kids not going there. So I was like, okay, well, pivot on to something else. And as far as nursing, in the beginning, when COVID first hit, I was working on a unit where I worked with babies who had never, most of them had not gone home since
Okay.
birth. And
Mm-hmm.
then the other portion of the unit, our patients had been in the hospital for a very long time. So although I was a frontline worker, in the beginning, I felt like, okay, I can't take credit for this because the risk of me actually contracting COVID from a kid who's never left the hospital is extremely low. So when people would be like, I'm just checking on you, how you doing, da, 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 and I'm like, oh no, check on somebody who like is really in the trenches. Now, later on, I actually did work in a COVID unit, and I was like, God bless everybody who worked during COVID in a COVID unit because it was a monster of its own that I had never seen before. It was crazy. And for me, it was difficult because I form attachments easily with my patients, probably more so than I should, because there should be like a certain level of professional boundaries that you have, but that's hard for me. I have an 80-year-old and she's telling me her life story, and I don't know, it's just hard for me to not kind of form more of an attachment to my patients. So when I first went to the COVID unit, and you know I didn't have a patient that passed away while I was there, but like I'd be here all these days and I'm like, man, they're not doing too well. Then I'd be off for 2 days. And I'm like, where is Miss This? Did she go to ICU? And they're like, no, she passed. No, he passed. No, they didn't make it. And I was like, you know what? This is too much. Like, I got to finish this up.
Trust me, I definitely understand. I still kind of kept in contact with a few of the elderly people that I worked with at my last job.
It, it,
And I just was updating them on things that was going on in my life. And I decided to call one day, and somebody picked up the phone and they was like, she passed. And I'm like, No, that's the worst feeling
Yeah,
when you form those bonds. Like you know it's probably going to happen, especially if you know how old they are, the health issues that they have. It's inevitable, but you know you just don't want to hear that.
yes, you feel it. Even when you see it coming, like, it doesn't change that feeling.
Yeah, I get you.
And
And
that me as,
you
healthcare worker, not even their family that, has known them forever.
right. And you mentioned, at the beginning you were in the NICU, and people who have been in the hospital for a while and weren't getting out and about, and you felt like you weren't a part of that front line. Yes, you were. Yes, you were. There was we know how there was a shortage in the COVID world. You were
Yeah.
holding it down. You were holding it down for everybody else. So you were. No, don't ever think that you were not a great, impactful piece to the puzzle, because you were.
But I don't know. I
I,
just try.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Yes, yes.
All right. So, with JFS Credit Repair, what is your motivation and mission? And before you answer that, I do want to play one of the videos that we made for your launch, just so people can get a small glimpse of what it is. But I want you to definitely, give a little bit more information about the mission. So
Yeah.
one second.
Hi, I'm Jasmine, founder of JFS. JFS specializes in credit building, repair, and restoration. I know you may be thinking, another credit repair agency. What makes this one so different? I truly believe it is my passion for people. There's something special about the glimmer in a person's eyes when they achieve a goal they thought was only a dream. Our goal for 2022 is to assist 100 families in getting their credit profile home buyer ready. Book your consultation today. You won't be sorry you did.
Yes. So I see generational wealth when I hear that. But I want you to expand on the mission a little bit more for us.
Yes. So with JFS, my goal is above anything, even above the credit repair. I want people to understand credit. I'm one of those people where I want to understand something on the most basic level to where a 5-year-old can understand it. Like, I have a 5-year-old. So I think about the way that I explain things to her. That's the way that I want people to understand their credit, even before the credit repair portion of it, just the credit education portion of it. I remember once before my husband, he was like, they're calling me for a late payment, but last month I already paid for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
And he thought that's how credit card bills went. Like if you pay a car note and you pay 2 months, they may keep it there and not put it toward the principal, or they may
Mm-hmm.
put it principal. So those are like simple things that people don't understand. Sorry. Those are like simple things that people don't understand. Like, hey, I already paid this bill double, but hey, you're still gonna have a late payment and you're still gonna have another payment due because you just paid extra, but you didn't pay
Right.
for the following month.
Right.
And so I think about times where we were like pinched for money or strapped for cash, and I could say, hold on, I got a credit card. That was so convenient for me. Not to do it to the point of where you're putting yourself in more debt, but you want to budget appropriately. But when you have like something unexpected come up and it's before payday, you have another means of paying it where you don't have to go get a payday loan, or you don't have to ask family. You can just, you have that available to you.
Right.
So that's really like, that's what I like about credit.
Yeah. So basically, you're trying to give them the tools to manage responsibly.
Yes, because it has to be managed responsibly. It has to be. And
I, yeah.
once you have that, once you have credit, you can leverage that for other things. Let's say, for example, you're someone who does hair. You have your business set up appropriately. You can order your hair from your vendors. You're going to sell it at whatever profit margin you want to sell it at. And guess what? You sell the hair, you pay off this net 30, or you pay off this credit card, or you pay off this business account that you have it in. And guess what? You just use someone else's money to pay for your inventory, then get your money from it and pay them back. But you're making money with money that you've never lost.
Right. Almost like wholesale.
Yeah. Yeah. But it comes, the thing is, it comes, the money's in your pocket before you ever spend any money.
Right. Okay. See,
That's what I like about
these are gems.
it.
Business people, these are gems.
Yeah.
So I do have some scenarios that I want to throw at you and see how you can help some people. I just asked general people. I asked a question and they gave me a few of these, and I wanted to see what you had to say about these.
Yes.
All right. So one, the pandemic threw me off and now I'm backed up on bills. It has affected my score. What should be my first step?
So, depending on what's on your report, not necessarily just that number, but depending on what's on your report, you can do things like, let's say there's a credit card company that you've been with for a while. I myself had this happen like 2 years ago, maybe three, I can't remember. But it didn't show on my credit report before, and it was a late payment. I did something that's called a goodwill letter. I wrote them a letter and said, hey, I've been a customer of yours for 4 years and I was only late one time. But let's just say hers is a 3-month period. I was only late these 3 months. My credit history before now was good. My credit history after that, or my payment history, sorry, I'm saying credit history. My payment history after that was good. So, could you, in good faith and goodwill, remove these payments? And don't be ashamed to tell the company, the credit bureau, whoever you're talking to, what was going on, because we all fall on hard times. But I'm one of those closed mouth doesn't get fed type people. So I'm going to ask.
Mm-hmm.
You can only tell me yes or no. So I would ask in that way. If it's a collection and things like that, one thing that you can do, like if you've disputed these accounts and nothing has happened, you can do the goodwill letter, and then you can also ask them, can we do a pay to delete? So before you ask for a pay to delete, have the money that you're able to pay them available at that time. So let's just say you have $1,000 bill and you want to settle it for 30%, which would be $300. And these are just scenarios. Companies have different percentages that they'll settle with for you. You tell them, hey, I can pay you this $300 if you're able to delete it from my credit report. And a lot of companies do it. Some of them don't. Some of them will say, well, we have to report accurate information, and that's not accurate information. And you can't be mad at them because, it is accurate what's on there sometimes. But
Right.
other thing that you can do goodwill letters, you can dispute it, and you can also ask them for like pay to delete in different settlements.
Okay. Okay. Good gems. Good gems. Um, Now another one says, I saw a chime card say it can help me build my credit by moving some of my paycheck deposits to my account. I want to start with $50 per check. Is Chime Credit Builder a good way to start rebuilding your credit?
I think it is. I have not personally worked with Chime or sent people to Chime, but I do have colleagues who have used it. So I can't tell you firsthand how it is, but I do know different individuals who have used it and they have been pleased with it.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, um, trying to see if I can understand this one. So it says, I neglected a bill of $5,000 because other things kept occurring. I fully intended to pay once I got on track, but now my debt has been sent to collections. I think this is similar to what you mentioned. Is it better to pay the collection agency or the original company that the debt is with?
So technically, when the debt goes to a collection agency, the company that it was with says there's probably no way I'm ever going to get this money from them. So let's say I'm the original creditor and you're a collection agency. I have all these accounts and I say, man, I've been trying to get these people to pay. They won't pay. So you say, hey, I'll pay you a few $100s for it. You now own that account, and so the person owes you now. So they owe the collection agency because it's kind of been sold off to another company. So a lot of the times, if you have something like, let's say you have something that was with AT&T, but something else is showing on your credit report, and I'm just throwing AT&T out there, you may call AT&T and they may say, well, we don't, you can't pay us. We don't own this debt anymore. So go through the collection agency. I would say before paying a collection, like I said, ask for a pay to delete, ask for a settlement. If they don't delete it and you're able to settle for a lesser price, you're still like that mark is still going to be on your credit report. Even if you pay a collection in full and it still shows up on your credit report, there's still going to be an issue there. Like it's still going to show as a blemish on your credit. But just continue. Don't settle there. Don't let that have you so upset to where you're like, man, I just can't do this credit journey anymore. I just don't know what I'm doing. I got all these collections, whatever, won't take it off. Don't stop right there, because you can still build good credit with the collection on your credit report.
Okay. I will say it does get discouraging sometimes.
It gets discouraging. It does. But you can still build good credit with the collection on your report. You really can. So don't make you feel like, oh, I can never get approved for anything else. Yes, you can.
Yes, honey. We can dust ourselves off and get back up again. We can.
Yes.
All right. I co-signed and the loan holder is in the wind and has defaulted beyond repair. What should they do?
Do not co-sign for anything unless you are financially capable of making that a bill for you. I don't care if it's your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, whoever it is. Do not co-sign for anyone unless you're able to take on that debt and pay it as your own. Because number one, when it's time for it to show up on your credit, when the people want their money, they don't care that you just co-signed on it. They don't care that they just needed you because your credit was a little bit higher and they wanted a lower interest rate. They don't care. They want their money. Mm-hmm. You owe it as much as the other person owes it. If it's a vehicle and he or she has the vehicle, or they know where the vehicle is, I would suggest doing calling the lender and doing a voluntary repossession. Actually now with used cars, and it depends on where they got it from. The price of everything has gone up. Like houses that were $100,000 are now $300,000. Same thing with cars. Maybe not that much, but car prices have gone up also. So I would do a voluntary repossession, tell them that you want them to come and get the vehicle. They will sell the vehicle. Once they sell the vehicle, $1,000 car, and they're able to sell it for $14,000. Well, you only owe $6,000 now. That's better than owing $19,874. You only owe $6,000. So call them, work out a payment plan with them, work out arrangements with them, whoever the creditor is or whoever has like the car. But yeah, don't ever co-sign. But that's one way to get out of it. Yeah. And you can also do things like try to sell the car privately. Like if you know someone who likes the vehicle, wants to buy the vehicle, you can sell it privately and go to the bank and let the bank know that, hey, there's a lien on this vehicle for this, but once they pay for it, the check is going to go straight to the people that I owe, and this is going to be their car.
Okay. That's definitely a tricky situation. Okay, last one.
Someone asks right in front of you, but it's like, no.
Yeah. Definitely tricky, but I'm learning that definitely no is bae.
Oh yeah, no, no, can't do it.
Yeah. All right, last one, last one. So it said my credit is in a good range now, and I've been current for the last year with all of my payments from in my payment history, but I can't get a new credit account due to the age of previous accounts and inquiries. How can I stop being denied?
One thing, if you apply for something and you don't get approved, you don't want to just keep applying for stuff, because to the creditors it's like, what are they trying to do? Why do they keep trying to get so much credit? What is it that they need all of this for? Number two, this is one of those situations where don't be nervous to get a secure card. You know, if you are able to give them a certain amount of money and they'll open a card for you, get a secure card. Let's just say you have a $200 limit on a secure card. I know sometimes a $2,000 limit looks so much greater than a $200 limit, but if you use the card appropriately, you can still get the same amount of points. It looks good for, you know, available credit and credit usage. If you have more credit, of course, it's more available. But if you have a $200 card and you go out and let's just say you use $10 on it, that's 5% of your credit limit. You go and I think Netflix, maybe Netflix may not be $10, but like one of the,
Oh no.
I know my Apple Music is like $9.99, I think. So let's just say you only use that card for your Apple Music subscription. That will quickly gain you points. Also, if you have high utilization, a lot of people will say, I can't get this, I can't get that. And they leave out that small part that, but my card is real close to being maxed out. And I only pay the minimum on it. And don't get me wrong, I'm guilty of that like all the time. Like even still now, sometimes if it's something that I need and it's an emergency, you know, my
Right.
utilization will be up this month and my score will go down a few points. And then I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and pay this off. And boom, score goes up, utilization goes down. So you also want to be mindful of that. It says like 30% is a happy spot. For me, like 10 to 15, I like better. Honestly, 5% is great. But I also
Mhm.
want to be realistic because people not getting credit because they don't need to use it. So use it if you need to use it. But when it's time to report, try to keep your utilization low.
Right, right. See, I'm trying to be that adult. I am, but it's a process. We getting there.
Man, with these three little girls, it's hard sometimes because I'm like, oh, I want to get. I'm gonna go ahead and this. Oh, I'm gonna. No.
Listen, I be trying to build stuff. I'm like, I need this, but I don't need this, but I need that. So I definitely get you.
Put that card up. Put it up.
Okay, that's my warning for today, y'all.
Yes. What I do is I lock my cards. So
Mm.
I'll lock all of them, and then sometimes I'll forget they're locked, or I'll go to use them, and they're like, "It's not going through," and I'm like, "It's not going through. What?" So every once in a while, I'll unlock it. Like I was at Wendy's and I didn't have my debit card, but I had a credit card in the car, and the lady's like, "It's not going through," and I was like, "Oh, it's locked. Hold on." She probably thought I was crazy. She was like, "Oh, it worked." I was like, "Yeah, this is how I kind of stop myself from getting stuff I don't need."
See, that's like that tap on the hand, like
Yeah,
stop
just
it.
a little soft, just a little soft, like, do you really don't unlock it, don't unlock it.
All right, so we're gonna rest there with the credit scenarios, but we want to get to know you a little bit better and your dreams and goals for this year. So what are your goals for the rest of 2022? It could be business or it could be personal.
Why would you ask me this? I always like to start with personal goals because I feel like I'm just Jasmine, like, yes, I'm wife, yes, I'm mom, yes, I'm a nurse, but I don't like to, I don't know, I'm just Jasmine. So one thing that I want to do is I want to cook a meal 5 days a week. That's one of my goals. Yeah, that's one of my goals.
Oh.
a year to cook a meal. 5. It could be hot dogs sometimes, but to cook an actual meal 5
Right.
days for my family. We have like a family devotional that we do. So I want to do that with my girls at least 5 days a week. I want to, I say I, but we, I'm real family oriented with my little family. So a lot of it has them in it too. I want us, my husband and I, to start taking the girls like to some of the areas where they're like more homeless people and using a portion of their allowance and doing things like buying socks, making sandwiches, just to show them like giving back. That's important. Like you're blessed, you're fortunate. So let's make sure that, because this could be us tomorrow. So
Right.
let's make sure we do our part to give back. Business goals. I have a few business goals that I don't know how. I don't know, but I have a few business goals. So, one, I want 100 clients with JFS. That's always my just real, just all the way out there goal. Yeah, that's what I want. I would like 100 clients with JFS. Um,
Y'all
I
hear that right? Come on.
I know. Come on
Come
over.
on.
Over. It's
Come
really
on.
fun. I swear. um. Also, I want to create my classes. I won't go a lot into that, but there's like some courses that I want to create to be able to help people with. So I hope to get that like up and going before the end of the year.
Okay.
What business goal do I have? I think that's really it on my business goals. I want to start doing a little bit more with Jazzy Kids, but I kind of let that fall by the wayside quite a bit. So I do want to kind of tap into that again, especially like with back to school and stuff. I
Right.
want something kind of big during that time. So we'll
And
see how that
your girls are getting a little bit older now, so
goes.
they can start pitching in and telling you, "Hey, mama, we can do this, we can
Yeah,
do that. I want to
yeah.
buy, I want this inventory," so they can start helping.
The goal is to gift it. The goal is actually what kind of came what to gift it to my how old is my daughter? 11. She'll be 12 then. So to gift it to my 12-year-old daughter, and I have a niece who's 16. She'll be 17 by then. Will she be 17? No, she won't quite be 17 yet. So the goal is to like gift it to them and let that be their thing and just teach them that hey, there's other avenues. If you don't like school, you don't prefer school, you feel like it's not for you, there's still other stuff that you can do and be successful with.
Right. Let's train these entrepreneurs early. I like that.
Oh,
And of
so
course, I know the origin of how it came about. If I don't know if you want to expand on that just a little bit, how Jazzy Kids came about.
oh Lord, y'all, my oldest daughter, I was gonna say super, but that's really not the right word for her. She's very in tune with other people's opinions of her, which is kind of like, I guess we all have a little bit of that, but it's so far left for me because sometimes my sister be like, "Girl, you about to wear that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't care." Or my friends are like, "You really gonna wear that out?" Even back in the day, and I'm like, "Yeah, I like it." I don't care if y'all think it look crazy. I like it. It is what it is. And my husband is very much so that way too, where he like, the style and the things that he's done has been out of the box for the time. But our daughter was very like, I need to look like this. I need to have straight hair and I need to have long hair. And when we were in Mississippi and then we were in Memphis for a little bit. So it was predominant. We were like in predominantly black areas in both places. So they saw other races, but not as much as when we moved to Texas. And it was like a melting pot. Like it was like, this race, this is this race, this is, these two races. So when we got here, she kind of felt pressure to look a certain way. When she was younger, she always wanted to be a model. I had pictures of her at like 3 years old wearing my heels and things like that. So she always wanted to be a model, but she got to a point to where she just felt like she wasn't able to because she didn't look a certain way. Or and she had like my daughter, she has braces now, so her teeth look okay. But she knocked her 2 front teeth out when she was like 2 years old. So just imagine a 4-year-old with like adult front teeth. Like she had big teeth. So she just felt very uncomfortable about herself.
Right.
And I felt like I wanted to be like, girl, you're perfect. Like, you can model. Come on, you can do it for me. Don't worry about it. If nobody else wants to hire you, you can do it for yourself. So now I realize that you can just run the company, like, hey,
Yes.
if you felt like you couldn't be a model at the company, then imagine owning it. You felt like you small thing, imagine something even greater. So that was my,
Right.
like, giving her a confidence boost and her realizing that, number one, you're fine just the way you are. Like, and if you don't think you're fine just the way you are, you're gonna have to learn to accept it, because you're always gonna be like that.
Yeah.
You kind of stuck. You're stuck with what you got. So
Listen, I definitely understand. Coming from a girl who used to wear glitter on her eyebrows and didn't care if anybody liked it or not. Yeah.
but who cares? I mean, if I like it, if I think I look good in it, it don't matter if 50 people I walk past think I look a hot mess. Baby, I'm enjoying it. It's making me happy.
Exactly. Like you said, if you're not invited to the table, create your own table.
Create your own table. Do you hear me? And I'm big on creating my own table. And I'll
Hello.
even bring you like some sides and meat for your table. Cause I'll still bring you some stuff for your table. But I still got my whole table over here.
Over here.
Yeah.
It's dinner time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay that you didn't give me a seat because I got another table, but this is what I would have brought to the table. I give you a little sprinkle of it, but I got the table now.
See, I like it. I like it. Have you gotten into like vision boards? Have you done a vision board for this year?
I have not done a vision board. I have wanted to do a vision board for like
Tapping my hand because I've been trying to do it since the end of January. So I think we both got homework.
And I said for New Year's, I was like, oh, we're going to do a vision board party where we do vision boards and the girls do vision boards. And yeah, it didn't happen.
Okay, sis, I think we need to sit down and do our vision boards because it's almost halfway through 2022.
It's so hard for me. I'm not an artistic person. I can give you you can tell me, man, I'm trying to do this with my business. And I can give you a whole scenario on what to do. Like, I can figure that out. I can walk you through it. I can tell you this and that. But when it comes to like, okay, let me put this together and let me put this there and I still don't color in one direction. I still can't cut a straight line. So that's probably the biggest thing stopping me from doing a vision board, because I'm like, dang, I'm gonna have to go through the magazine. I'm gonna have to cut this paper. I'm gonna have to do this. But now digitally, which is even worse, because I'm like, okay, I've been trying to move this thumbnail for this long and it's still not working. So we'll see. We'll see.
We're gonna get it done because I have mine in my notes in my phone. But I just haven't put it down on my poster that I bought. So I'm having, do I want it to look this way or this way? That's my thing. I don't know which way I want to go with it. I might keep it simple. So that might be something for you to talk. We'll talk about these vision boards.
Y'all drop y'all board ideas in the comments.
Please.
And hold us accountable. We're gonna come back when we make
Yes. We will get these vision boards done. So since we're talking about what we would put on our vision boards, are there any things on your personal bucket list, fun things, adventures, maybe food or trips that you want to do this year?
I have to this year. Oh, you said this year.
Mm-hmm.
Where do
it can
I
be
want
small. It can be small, big.
I'm trying to think. I want to take the girls on a summer trip, but I haven't really like pinned down a place that I want to go. But I do like, how they have long weekends, like just during the year, all year. My goal is to take a small trip every time they have a long weekend.
Okay.
Texas is huge, so even if it's just driving to San Antonio
or
whatever, but I want to take a trip every long weekend.
Okay.
Yes.
get them out and about. And look, we all been cooped in the house because of COVID, and it's time to get back outside.
Yes, I want to go to Maldives. I don't know if I want to do this December, or I don't know. We went to Jamaica in November and it was so fun.
Yeah.
My birthday is in November, but my anniversary is in December. So I just want to be somewhere hot and tropical. But my husband don't like leaving the kids so close to Christmas.
Yeah. I mean, well, I can't say nothing because my mama is a Christmas fanatic. She's ready for Christmas in July.
But I feel like we're gonna make it back. It's like, but what if something happens? What, the flight's canceled? We'll
I
make it.
will say, COVID made me paranoid about a lot of stuff. I was working for Priceline at the time. Somebody called in. They was like, "We stuck in Africa. We can't get home."
That's not funny, but oh my God.
Yeah, and he was like, "Hey, we've been here for about a month."
Oh no, you know what? He probably right. He right. Nah, he right.
Yeah.
We'll just wait.
Listen to Mr. Jones.
That's right. We'll wait. We'll wait. He right. No, I don't know what I was thinking.
All right. So on days that you don't feel motivated, what are things that give you a pick me up? Like, and what advice would you give to those starting a new business that might be feeling unmotivated?
Well, you guys, this advice is like advice that I'm also giving myself as I give it to you all. On days that I don't feel motivated, it is extremely hard for me to like pick myself up if I don't start it like right there in the morning. I am a morning person, and I just feel like if I do things in the morning, then it it stops me from having to try to like it's the end of the night and like I have to stay up and do all this, because when it's time for me to go to bed, I'm going to bed. Like after we finish, like it's I'm gonna go to bed when I'm done with everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I just try to like push through and tell myself like you got to do it. Like either you're gonna do it or you're not gonna do it. And I like fuss at myself. I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and we were just talking about like ideas that we have had to do things in business, and we were like, man, we still have not executed these ideas. And so I'm like, you know what, I don't want no money, I don't want to help anybody. I just don't. How can I want to if I won't just get up and do what I have to do? And it's crazy because, being a nurse, like I may work 12, 13-hour days. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not like I'm not used to working and going hard and doing things. But sometimes I do get in a rut, and I have to just tell myself, like, how your mama give you tough love. I have to give myself some tough love. And it's like, girl,
Mm-hmm.
you need to get up. Like, this is terrible. Like, if I haven't done laundry, I'm like, it's 4 baskets right here. Like, when are you going to fold this laundry up? And with business, like, you were supposed to schedule this thing. When are you going to do it? You were supposed to order supplies. Why are the supplies still not here? I just have to
Yes.
mama myself.
Everybody, mama yourself. Like you have things to do, and the outcome that you want. The
Yeah.
work has to be put in.
Yes. And I try to, because like my husband, my sister, my parents, my friends, they're very supportive. So if it's something that I need to get done and I'm like, dang, I didn't get this thing done, they're like, but you need to rest a little bit. You were doing this with the girls, and then you had to work, and then you had to do that. So I try to not, like, of course I appreciate it, but I
Yeah.
try to not listen to that, because if I listen to that, then I won't have that excuse for the next day, and I won't have that excuse for the next day. You know what you're capable of. More
Mm-hmm.
more and better than anyone else, you know what you're capable of. So I just bring it back to myself, and it's like, man, you really letting yourself down, because you know you can do it, but you just won't do it. Like, if you don't show up for yourself, how are you ever gonna show up for anybody else?
Gotcha. That is right. That is right. You have to tell yourself right in order to tell. Look, you have 3 little people.
I know. So if you don't show up for yourself, how you gonna show up for them?
Yep. That is so true. Yeah, this is my last one for this one. So you know me, you know I support you 100%. So tell me, what can I, Kaylee the boss, what can I do to help you more to reach your goals?
Oh my God, like you are doing everything to help me. I literally cannot think of anything else that you could do for me, honestly. Other than just, let me say this, just continue to hold me accountable also. Don't be so helpful that you don't hold me accountable, because I don't want to for it to be a crutch. This is a working relationship, so it should be as good for you as it is for me, either way. So just, but other than that, man, girl, I cannot, like, you have literally been a godsend. I can send you stuff. You have been a godsend. Everything that you do with the post, even like beyond the post, like just how you'll say, one thing that I love about you, like you are, some people kind of tiptoe around, well, maybe this, well, maybe that. You'll just say, like, no, this needs to look more clean, or no, we need to do it like that, which I appreciate, because some people feel like, well, I don't want to upset the client, so I'm not going to say this and that, but it doesn't help them grow.
Right.
So that's what I love about you, is you say, no, this doesn't make sense, or we need to do it like that, or yeah, that's a good idea. Cause it helps us grow.
Yes, I believe in fresh eyes, and for me, when you bring something to me, and if I can see it and I can see how it can go a little bit further, that's my job.
Yeah,
Not to change anything, but just to expand
yes,
your vision for yourself.
yes. Because I feel like us as people, we'll come up with such grand ideas, and then someone will tell us something, and we'll be like, oh, you could do this, this, and that. Like, I see how you could do this. And then sometimes when it's time for us to come up with something for ourselves, it's like crickets, or it's like we just cannot figure it out. So I love that I think it's important when you're an entrepreneur, when you're in business, to have a like-minded individual that, number one, trust and love you enough to be honest with you, and number two, that you can just bounce ideas off of and they help you grow.
That's
And
right.
you
That's
have
right.
been there for me. Like you guys, if you need branding, like seriously get at her. She has made a logo for me. She has helped me with my website, even though she says she don't create websites. Maybe if we like get on to her enough about it, you guys, we can like make her want to go take a website design class or something. Like, that's probably the only thing it doesn't do. Managing my social media is awesome. Like I said before, I'm not really good at it. So I like that she is able to do that. Like, you know, some people will, I can remember being pregnant with my youngest daughter, and I was probably like 6 months pregnant, and I had moved from Memphis to Texas, and one of my old coworkers was like, you're still not telling people? And I was like, what? And she was like, you haven't posted on Facebook that you're pregnant. Like, are you like, I was like, what are you talking about?
I
Everyone
care
that
about your business.
knew, well, it was okay, because I was an open person, so I didn't care about that. But I was like, everybody who is in my circle knows, because I've told them like verbally, but it was kind of like it wasn't official until I made it Facebook official.
Right. And
Which
see, that's where people get it mixed up. Like
yeah,
Facebook is like law for them.
yes, yes. But something, what I'm learning is, when it comes to business, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to things like that, you need social media. You
You
can
do,
do a lot
you do,
of
you do
stuff, right?
have to be transparent. I will say that.
Yes, I like I enjoy doing on the ground marketing, and I do a lot of that. But like, you coming in and doing the social media portion of it is such a huge help, and I can reach 50 people with on the ground marketing, and you can reach 500 people, with social media marketing.
Right.
So, although I didn't feel like she was being intrusive. I didn't really care. That's my personality.
Yeah.
It was fine. But it was just something that I go back to sometimes in business, and I'm like, you know what? That's true. Some people are really looking like,
Yeah,
to know the story on social media.
yeah. And that's a lot of my clients say that. I'm not, too big on the Facebook, the Facebook, and
Yes.
I don't post as often, but with
Yeah.
your business, people
You have
have to see what you're doing so that they can understand how legit you are, how serious you are. Like you just have they feel more connected to you when they can see behind
yeah.
the scenes a little bit.
Yes. And like you said with the transparency, like I'm an open book. I'll probably walk up to you and tell you things that you just don't care to know about me that I'll share with you. And I have to remember, okay, let's share that with social media too, because you have potential clients, potential work relationships, potential partnerships that you can have there. That hey, they don't
Right.
realize that you're really not that serious. You're really goofy and you really like to play and have fun. But they just see this like picture of, yes, this is me, I'm professional. Because I also
Right.
believe that when it's time to be professional, you should be professional. So
Right. It's kind of slippery slope sometimes, you have to read the room. You have to
yes,
read the room. And it's
I
just about I definitely did an episode of my first season about brand respect. So there's a lot of things that go into play when you're trying to get that respect but also be relatable at the
yeah.
same time. So definitely. But you're doing well. We're doing well.
You more so than me, but I'm saying it's nice that you say we.
No problem. No problem at all. No, we're going into boot camp now. Since you said that, we're going into boot camp. No.
You say bad words to me.
Well, it is just about that time for us to wrap up. This has been a great session with spotlighting Miss Jasmine Jones of JFS Credit Repair. She is truly amazing. Her mission to me is amazing. Not only is she providing credit repair services, she's preparing people to leave, to plant foundations and leave a legacy to those that they are creating. Like you're creating wealth, generational wealth for one, and just knowledge. You're creating a knowledge base, and I like that. A lot of people just say I'm delivering a service, but you're actually trying to educate, and you dropped some major gems here. So I love to see when people are forward thinking about the future and are genuinely, real about helping other people obtain those great things that they have discovered. Me and
Yeah.
you, we are kindred spirits. So I'm happy you were here to join me on today. Know that you are always welcome here if you have something new that you want to talk about, even if it's not business, something a little you want to BS a little bit, come back for a BS session with us on the BS Boss Chicks corner. You're always welcome.
I'm coming to an on the BS session. I can't wait.
Yes. Yes, we will talk about that because I have a few things that I want to go back to and just level it up a little bit, and because we got some things to discuss.
I'm so excited. I hope it's the same. Yes, I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, yeah. It probably is. It probably is. Yeah, especially if you caught one of the previous ones, then yeah, it
Okay,
probably is.
good.
And anybody else, if you want to be on here, or if you want to be one of her clients, definitely hit her up. Let them know where they can find you.
You can find me online, www.calljfs.com. You can also call me at 682-283-9031. I think I got to check that number.
If not, it's on the website. It's on the
Yes,
website,
definitely on the website.
and
Go to
definitely
calljfs.com, schedule a consultation. It's free. You don't have to join. Credit repair, you can do it yourself. And if you're able to, we encourage that. I mean, why spend money when you don't have to? But of course, I have a business, so I welcome all new clients.
yes, yes. There is the Facebook and
And
there is the Instagram.
that's right.
Find her JFS Credit Repair. prepare. So yeah, I have thoroughly enjoyed you and everybody. If anybody wants to, to get on and discuss some things, maybe if you want her to come back, drop it in the comments. You want her to come back. If you got some questions for her, some additional questions for her, some additional scenarios, we can set that up. If you guys want to come on and send me an email, shoot me a message, inbox me, leave a comment, let me know.
Yes,
And we
and is Jasmine at calljfs.com. So if you feel like you have questions and you're just kind of nervous about, hey, I don't want to ask this out loud. Credit is a sensitive and intimate topic. So if you have questions that you want to send them in.
That's right. That's right. Well, guys, you know what time it is. It is definitely close out time. Until next time, squad, keep it bossy, keep it saucy, and definitely tell us how you are bossing.